Love, the most beautiful, yet the most misunderstood emotion. We talk about it as if it's a mystery, but psychology reveals something deeper, something shocking. Love is not just a feeling. It's a biological and emotional necessity, especially for women. When a woman falls in love, her brain doesn't just release butterflies. It releases a flood of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This chemical connects her emotionally, mentally, and physically to the one she trusts. But here's the truth. Once this bond is formed, her entire emotional world begins to orbit around that connection. Love becomes safety, and safety becomes love. If that security breaks, her entire emotional balance trembles. Many people believe attraction is enough. But from a psychological standpoint, attraction is just the spark, not the fire. What truly sustains love is emotional consistency. A woman's subconscious constantly asks, "Am I safe here? Can I trust this person with my emotions?" When the answer is yes, love deepens. When the answer becomes uncertain, love starts fading, even if the words "I love you" are still being said. The shocking truth is, love for women isn't about intensity, it's about stability. Her heart values understanding more than gifts, emotional security more than excitement. And yet, in today's world, many confuse unpredictability for passion. But unpredictability only awakens anxiety, not love. Real love feels calm, not chaotic. It makes her bloom, not break. When you ignore a woman's emotional needs, her brain interprets it as rejection. Studies have shown that the same part of the brain that lights up during physical pain also activates when a woman feels emotionally neglected. That's why emotional absence can hurt even more than physical distance. Love isn't about constant attention, but it is about presence. Emotional presence that says, "I see you, I understand you, you matter." And yet, one of the biggest psychological truths is that women often give love, hoping it will be returned the same way. But love doesn't always operate on equality. It operates on energy exchange. When she gives endlessly without being emotionally replenished, burnout follows. She starts questioning her worth, not realizing that love without reciprocity isn't love. It's emotional depletion. Love is not just a feeling. It's a psychological need. When we think about love, most people imagine romance, butterflies, excitement, or attraction. But for a woman, love operates on a much deeper level. It's not simply an emotion she experiences. It's a psychological necessity deeply tied to her sense of identity, safety, and emotional well-being. This isn't just poetic theory. It's biological and psychological truth. From early childhood, women are conditioned, both biologically and socially, to seek emotional connection as a form of security. A woman's brain is designed to interpret love as safety and attachment as stability. When she feels loved, her brain releases hormones like oxytocin and dopamine, which create feelings of calm, belonging, and joy. But when that love becomes uncertain or unstable, the same brain reacts as if it's under emotional threat. Cortisol rises, anxiety builds, and her nervous system enters survival mode. That's why many women describe heartbreak as a physical pain, because the brain literally processes emotional rejection in the same areas it processes physical injury. For women, love fulfills the psychological need to belong and to be emotionally understood. When she is in love, she doesn't just desire affection, she desires understanding, validation, and connection. Her mind associates emotional closeness with security. The more consistent and trustworthy the love feels, the more peaceful her inner world becomes. This is why in healthy relationships, women often flourish emotionally and mentally. Their sense of being valued reinforces self-worth and emotional stability. However, when love becomes inconsistent or uncertain, the effects are powerful and painful. A woman's psychology interprets mixed signals as emotional danger. She begins to question herself, not because she is weak, but because her brain has learned to equate uncertainty with risk. When love becomes unpredictable, she experiences what psychologists call attachment anxiety, a state where her emotions oscillate between hope and fear. She starts overthinking, replaying conversations, and seeking reassurance, because her subconscious is fighting to restore the feeling of safety that love once gave her. This explains why a woman can be deeply affected even by emotional neglect. It's not about being overly sensitive. It's about how her mind processes connection. When emotional warmth disappears, her brain interprets it as abandonment. And because love is linked to her sense of identity and security, losing love feels like losing a part of herself. That's why many women say after heartbreak, "I don't even recognize myself anymore." The loss of love isn't just emotional. It's psychological disorientation. Love, therefore, isn't optional in her inner world. It's nourishment. Just like the body needs food and water, the female psyche thrives on emotional connection, empathy, and belonging. When she is loved right, with honesty, consistency, and care, she becomes her best self. Her creativity, confidence, and emotional balance flourish. But when she's starved of love, she can shrink emotionally, becoming anxious, withdrawn, or overgiving just to keep the connection alive. One of the shocking truths about love in female psychology is that many women confuse emotional intensity with emotional intimacy. Intensity, like passion, drama, or constant highs and lows, can feel like deep love because it activates strong emotions. But true love isn't about emotional chaos. It's about emotional safety. When love is calm, respectful, and nurturing, the female brain relaxes and bonds more deeply. That's why some women only realize what real love feels like once they experience peace instead of pain.